Good morning, folks. How you doing today? So, as a California landlord, I have been sent many articles about Assembly Bill 1436, also called AB 1436. So, what is it? Let's talk about what it is. Let's talk about my thoughts. Let's talk about what I think happens. First and foremost, it is referred to as the Tenant Relief Act, also known as Screw Landlord Act. Uh, Basically, what it does is it sets up free rent. It imposes itself over existing contracts. It ties the end date to emergency declarations, which, if you know anything about cities and states, they are not, they don't remove quickly. I've just looked up, and there are actually emergency orders still in place in LA from the 1990s. So to see an assembly bill that says will be tied to the emergency declarations of this health event is really scary, as it is no end date out there. As again, California has been known, and municipalities have been known to keep these on for years and years and years. So again, not a good thing. The assembly bill also makes it difficult to collect rent after the fact, right? It puts on dates like 12 or 18 months and things of that nature. Really, what this bill comes down to, in my mind, is California legislators again trying to create laws to force good behavior. And you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. Laws aren't meant to enforce good behavior. As a landlord, we know the environment is going on. We are in constant communication with our tenants. We are giving rent reductions, waiving late fees. We are already doing all the right things, because as landlords, the last thing we want is vacancies. Vacancies is what kills us. Unit turns is what kills us. We would gladly give away a free month's or half a month's rent to keep someone in a house. We want them there. Landlords don't make money by evicting tenants. So these Democrats that are supporting AB 1436, once again, think they are the smartest people around and want to legislate good behavior. And I think this bill, or one very much like it's going to pass. I think they will pass it again. Gavin Newsom and his boys will again think they know best. They will pass it or something very much like it. And then the fun begins. Because I don't know if you know this, but government, according to the U.S. Constitution, and, oh, by the way, California Constitution, cannot enact laws that prohibit the impairment or obligations of contracts. It's unconstitutional to create laws that can interject into existing contracts. And a lease is a contract. So think about that. Our Democratic leadership in the state of California, because they know best and they want to legislate good behavior, are going to enact an assembly bill that breaks the U.S. Constitution and the California Constitution. So when this passes, and it will pass before August 1st, when they all go on recess and do whatever they do. Yeah, they're going to go on recess, so they're in a hurry to pass this. It's comical. But the lawyers will get involved. Because last time I checked, going against the U.S. Constitution is not a good idea. But the California leadership knows that it will take years to get to the Supreme Court, which will ultimately say this is not cool. But by then, what has happened to California landlords? First and foremost, I think California landlords in the suburbs, which, oh, by the way, is most of the state, I think are going to be okay. I think we're already seeing population out of the big cities to the suburbs, Sacramento, for example, Inland Empire, for example. I think for the most part, those cities and locale will be okay. Landlords, you're going to have to do a very good job of screening tenants. You're going to want to make sure their employment is not really at risk as best you can, right? I don't think I would, you're going to have to make sure that they're going to keep paying rent because people want to. So I think tenant selection in California in the suburbs will be much more important, but I don't see it impacting a lot. Some tenants that are existing tenants will certainly see this as a way to get year or years of free rent if this bill passes and stays on the books. So it's going to be painful. But I think cities like San Francisco, Oakland, cities that already had rent control and kind of have that mindset, landlords in those areas, oh, you are in trouble. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your apartments. Your tenants have already learned how to play the game. This assembly bill means mom and pop landlords are going to lose property. Properties are going to go foreclosed. Because even if you have mortgage forbearance, operating a unit, you still have expenses. AC goes out, $6,000. Roof goes out, $15,000. Window gets broke. It's always amazing how windows get broken from the outside. Never the tenant's problem. $1,200. These mom and pop landlords who've been doing this depend on this income, and they're going to have to go on Social Security or something, because good old Gavin Newsom and his boys are going to pass this assembly bill. They're going to feel good. Tenant relief. Screw landlords. I think it's going to happen. I think a bill or a bill like this gets passed regardless of its unconstitutionality or not. They're going to use this crisis to legislate good behavior, when instead we should realize that the business cycle does that. Look at San Francisco. You have more vacancies. Guess what? Rent goes down. San Francisco will be cheaper than it was in January. You're going to have less units. Landlords will have people get out. We'll sell them to owner-occupants, because guess what is selling today? Owner-occupied units. So we'll do cash for keys or something. We'll get tenants out. We'll clean them up. We'll sell them owner-occupant. You are going to have less affordable rental units by this bill passing. You think you have a rental problem now? Just wait. So in the end, a couple of things. I think Assembly Bill 1436 or one very much like it will pass. I think it's unconstitutional, both California and the U.S. Constitution. I don't think they care. I think mom and pop landlords in Oakland, San Francisco, LA are in huge trouble. I think landlords in suburb cities need to be very careful with tenant selection going forward. I think if you are a landlord of single-family homes, you might want to look at selling them because the market's hot. We have no inventory. I think appreciation of single-family homes goes up in the short term for sure in the suburbs. So it's pretty sad. And I don't see anybody defending the Constitution. I think everybody is screaming crisis, crisis, crisis. And I think eventually the Constitution will be defended, but it will be 2-3 years from now when this is a memory, when there's already been horrible foreclosures and people crushed. And we will go, whoops, Assembly Bill 1436 or one like it was unconstitutional. Shame on you for creating it, but it'll be too late. That's what I think. I hope I'm wrong. But again, Assembly Bill 1436, tenant relief, screw landlords, very sexy title. It's going to get passed. Be ready for it.